Canada is striking back with its own tariff measures in Trump's trade war that he has launched against the world.
Repeated Trump's statement by saying that Canada would be economically better off as a 51st state.
It's crazy.
In English?
His point is crazy. That's it.
Canada is making a bold move that could shake up its relationship with the U.S. It's getting ready to cancel a huge $13 billion deal for American fighter jets. But why? For years, Canada and the U.S. have been close allies, especially when it comes to defense. But things are changing fast. President Trump's tough trade policies, like tariffs on Canadian goods, have frustrated Canada. Now, instead of buying U.S.-made F-35 fighter jets, Canada is looking at European options instead. But is this the right move? Could this decision hurt Canada's military and economy? And how will the U.S. react to losing such a massive deal? How did we get here? Canada's current acquisition plans involve purchasing 88 F-35 Lightning II warplanes from the United States to modernize its national defense. For many years, Canada has relied on U.S.-built combat aircraft. Donald Trump's trade war measures, including steel and aluminum restrictions, have caused intense difficulties for Canada's economic system. The two nations have experienced increasing tension because of their energy and agricultural export disagreements. Canada's leader, Mark Carney, has openly criticized Trump's trade policies. In a recent statement, he declared, "Our country's strategic interests will never be shaped by unilateral pressure or threats." Frustrated by the situation, the Canadian government is now seriously looking at European fighter jets. But what risks does this bring for Canada's national security? The F-35 deal at risk, a breaking point in U.S.-Canada relations. Canadian Defense Minister Bill Blair suggested to the public that Ottawa assesses both terminating its F-35 program and forming partnerships with European military technology industries. Moving away from the F-35 signals enhanced tensions between Washington and Ottawa at a national security level. The Canadian political debate on fighter jet independence faces opposition because critics believe Canadian military effectiveness will decrease without direct access to American state-of-the-art defense warfare platforms. On the American side, U.S. senators close to Trump have warned that Canada's economic interests depend on access to the American market. Some are even suggesting retaliatory trade measures if the F-35 deal is scrapped. Will Canada hold its ground? Or will Washington's pressure force a reconsideration? Why is the F-35 important? The F-35 is not just any fighter jet. It's considered one of the most advanced aircraft in the world. The F-35 is designed to be nearly invisible to radar. That makes it a powerful tool in modern air combat. The aircraft includes state-of-the-art sensors that help pilots acquire data about their operating area and maintain continual communication with other aircraft and military systems. The combination of advanced technology features makes the F-35 an essential weapon, transforming every Air Force's capabilities. Canada's participation in the F-35 program started at conception when it established home-based production lines for specific components. To walk away from years of partnership and investment represents the core reason behind the decision to cancel this deal instead of choosing another aircraft. The Canadian government will need to acquire new aircraft programs quickly after abandoning the current agreement, and European options will emerge as the most probable replacement. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a choice for these air forces, as well as the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain. The jet has impressive power, yet it does not possess the stealth properties of the F-35. France supplies the combat-nimble Dassault Rafale, demonstrating exceptional capability across multiple scenarios. Lastly, the Saab Gripen from Sweden is a cost-effective jet known for its agility and ease of maintenance. While these European jets have their strengths, none match the F-35's advanced technology. But the more significant challenge isn't just picking a different plane. Everything comes with switching. Canada would need to retrain its pilots, build new maintenance facilities, and change its entire military supply chain. This would be a massive and expensive transition, making it clear that canceling the F-35 deal is not just about defense. It's a bold political statement. Is Canada's move part of a larger strategic plan? Canada isn't just rethinking this deal because of trade disputes. experts believe it's part of a bigger plan for the future. Recent geopolitical tensions have led Canada to reconsider its heavy dependence on U.S. military equipment and defense cooperation, which it has maintained for decades. The country shifted its defense partnership search toward Europe by focusing on collaboration with France because these nations are dedicated to enhancing their military defense ties. Canada's selection of European fighter jets will strengthen its defense relationship with the European Union, thus reshaping its cooperation with international partners. One reason for this decision is Canada's growing focus on the Arctic. Global warming continues to elevate temperatures across the Arctic region, thus resulting in the reduction of Arctic ice, the development of new shipping routes, and escalating competition for Arctic natural resources. The Canadian government works to develop its military forces in the Arctic region for territorial defense. However, the United States, Russia, and China also pay close attention to this area. Canada wants independence from American guidance by forming European alliances instead of maintaining U.S. defense agreements, thus positioning itself as a separate regional power. This decision could reshape Canada's defense strategy and weaken its ties with the U.S., especially in the Arctic region. Establishing these changes will compel Canada to undertake cross-domain operations as part of military coordination, while it builds new training structures and ensures NATO stays reliable and strong. Canada aims to exercise more control over its defense policies through this measure, but this approach brings potential risks that worsen during ongoing U.S.-Canadian tension. The economic cost of canceling the deal. Canada will incur financial costs to control defense decision-making through European jet acquisition. The most substantial financial danger to Canada stems from possible legal fees. It may have to pay Lockheed Martin if it terminates its pact. Breaking such a massive deal requires more than just cancellation, because the government could face billions of dollars in penalties and extensive legal fees. Finance is not the sole problem, since Canada will face infrastructure challenges. The Canadian military has dedicated years to preparing for F-35 deployment by establishing infrastructure training pilots and mechanics, upgrading bases, and installing support systems. Switching to European jets means Canada will need to retrain pilots, build new maintenance facilities, and adjust its military systems. This transition will take years and cost billions. Canada has already invested heavily in the F-35 program. Canadian companies have been making parts for the jet for years, creating jobs and boosting the economy. However, any Canadian withdrawal from the F-35 deal may trigger job losses from existing contract work and eliminate industrial contracts throughout Canada's associated industries. The financial strain from such a change would affect military defense and the Canadian economic structure. Introducing European jet fighters would increase Canada's independence, but the financial barriers and operational challenges require careful assessment. Potential U.S. reactions and fallout? If Canada cancels the deal, the U.S. won't take it lightly. Washington could slap heavy tariffs on Canadian exports like lumber, dairy, and cars, hurting Canada's economy. And that's not all. Canada could also lose access to top U.S. military technology. Could this spark a full-on trade war? Canada will struggle to improve its protective systems through technological limitations because the United States would restrict access to state-of-the-art defense equipment. Canceling the F-35 deal could hurt Canada-U.S. relations. It might also affect border security, intelligence sharing, and military cooperation. Despite these risks, Canada seems ready for the challenge. Prime Minister Carney's government is already talking to European defense companies and looking at ways to build more military equipment at home. This shows that canceling the F-35 deal is not just about trade disputes, but part of a bigger plan to reduce Canada's dependence on the U.S. How will this impact North American defense? The Canadian military existence is vital for North American security protection through its North American Aerospace Defense Command involvement. The cessation of U.S. military assistance may raise doubts about Canada's dedication to protecting North American territories. This move could potentially lead to the United States reevaluating its military funding in Canada. Would the partnerships within NATO potentially change if Canada focused its defense strategies on European alliances? A bold gamble or a necessary move? The Canadian government's review of breaking its $13 billion F-35 contract represents an essential change in bilateral relations with the United States. Walking away from this deal will shake up Canada's military and global partnerships, all because of growing tensions with the US. As Canada initiates the process of moving towards defense independence, is it maintaining strategic control or risking security by cutting relations with the United States? What actions will Washington take upon the long-term expansion of this situation? This move could make or break Canada's future. Is this a bold step toward independence or a dangerous game that could backfire? And that's the situation. Canada is making a big decision, but will it be good or bad in the long run? What do you think? Is Canada doing the right thing, or is this too risky? Let us know in the comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any new updates.